The heavy competition over the Nkuhuma pride left one of the Kambula males badly injured. Many of us were wondering if K4 would be able to pull through. And for once, we did not only get to see nature giving him a break, but we became witness to his recovery, a testament of the extraordinary resilience these beautiful creatures have. By early December, he was reunited with his brothers and followed them to the south, where they made a number of buffalo kills. However, one of the brothers wasn't eager to leave the north, and so he stayed back and continued to mate with the Nkuhumas. As a consequence, he also got into a fight with other males, but luckily for him, it didn't end as badly as for his brother K4. Their decision to leave the land behind they were about to conquer in order to hunt in enemy's territory seems irrational to us. But there could be a simple explanation for their desire to travel so far. The Mhangeni River is a seasonal river and doesn't have water all year around. The big buffalo herds who migrate through northern Sabi Sand don't stay there. They are constantly on the move following the water. 4 adult males need a big kill every week to sustain their condition. And if their preferred prey is not around, they might follow the herds just out of necessity. This is just one possibility out of many, but whatever the reason, after a month-long journey, they returned to the north and reunited with K6, who they have left behind. While they were gone, some of the Nkuhumas, especially the lioness called Little Amber, continued to mate with the Kruger male and the Mantamali brothers. It's also worth mentioning that the blonde Mantamali brother picked up a limp. However, it's not clear how he got injured. The Nkuhuma pride goes through turbulent times, and it might take a while until we see a new litter of Nkuhuma cubs. All the mating hasn't resulted in a pregnancy yet, and if, we would have trouble to determine who the fathers of these cubs would be. The young Nkuhuma male is still hanging on to the pride, even though he got chased numerous times. His future may seem uncertain, but he wouldn't be the first Nkuhuma boy who made it to adulthood and later would become quite successful with an unrelated coalition partner. At the end of November, while K4 was nursing his injury, the Blackdam male spent some time in the company of the other 3 Kambula males. They shared a kill but parted after the meal was finished. He disappeared into Kruger only to return at the end of December when he reunited with the Nkuhumas. He was in good condition, which indicated that he fed himself very well while he was in Kruger. Nevertheless, he is in need of a partner, and lately he was seen trailing the Kruger and Southern Avoca male. These 2 veterans spent a considerable amount of time with the Nkuhumas in December. Although it looks like the Kruger male is more dominant for now, the Southern Avoca male is no pushover. And it's good to see him doing so much better than half a year ago. The sheer number of males in the north caused one coalition to pull back from the area. The Plainscamp males wisely decided to stay back in their territory, which benefits the prides under their control. The Ximunghwe lioness is heavily pregnant and was seen by the end of December looking for a den site. At the time of this recording, there has no information made public whether or not she has already given birth, so I guess we'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, the other Ximunghwe lioness had some quality time with her 2 daughters, and this photo shows how big they've become. We are also eagerly awaiting news from the Othawa pride. At least one of the lionesses looks pregnant, but as with the Ximunghwe, we have to muster up a little bit of patience. The Nkuhuma Breakaway youngsters are truly nomadic and explore the north more often. Every time we see them, they are well fed, and while they roam Nkuhuma territory these days, they may cross paths with their cousin, who is 1 year older and whose days in the pride are numbered. Wherever the journey leads them, we wish them luck and continued success in their endeavor. The Mhangeni pride is doing well, and word got out that the injured boy has fully recovered. The Mhangeni youngsters, who consist of 4 females and 2 males, are shy of their 2nd birthday, and we hope they all grow up to adulthood. One of the adults spent some time on her own due to an injury she might have suffered in a hunt. However, latest sightings show that she has reunited with her pride and she is also on her way to recovery. Since the Tsalala lioness lost her cubs by the end of October, she has moved back into Londolozi to claim her old territory. Given that she went back into estrus immediately after the tragic events, the Plainscamp males didn't let her out of their sight. They mated throughout November and December and were even bold enough to roar together. The increased presence of the Plainscamp males in Londolozi prompted another border dispute, in which they hopefully established which part of Londolozi belongs to whom. Let's hope the feud is settled, so that the Tsalala lioness can raise her next litter of cubs in peace. However, the nomads, namely the Nkuhuma and Talamati male, keep the Plainscamp males on their toes. After a long stint in the south, which even led them into Kruger, they returned to the west. The duo, always well fed and content with themselves, haven't challenged any of the dominant males whose territory they invaded frequently over the last couple of months. They traveled all over Sabi Sand, and we may led to believe that they know every line in the area. Be that as it may, they seem happy with one another, and maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to strike. Tumbela, on the other hand, made a turn for the worse. It's sad to see him living off stolen prey, and in this clip he seemed too lethargic to muster up the energy to go after a curious hyena. I hope the tables will turn for him for the better, since almost every single male around him has found a new partner. Tumbela needs some luck, and I hope he'll get it. The Kambula lioness K12 and the young Styx male carved out a piece of land in Nzenga territory. Some of us were eagerly waiting what would happen when he came across his father's and if she would meet her mother, who is the oldest lioness of the Kambula pride. Our predictions became true when the young Styx male, who is not even 4 years old, started to roar in the midst of his father's territory, blissfully unaware that the older Nzenga was taking cover behind the termite mound, waiting for the right moment to strike. K12 was trailing a little behind, and the lioness further down the road could have been her mother. When the Nzenga shot out of his cover, the Styx male was totally taken by surprise. He tripped and fell, and his father just stood there, waiting for him to get up and run for safety. When he realized that the Kambula lioness chased after K12, the Nzenga male changed his plan and instead went after the ladies. Even though K12 didn't appreciate his attention, he acted as a protector. shielding her from the Kambula lioness. Not to forget, K12 mated with him only a couple of weeks prior. The Styx male, on the other hand, couldn't resist and started roaring again, which caught the attention of the other Nzenga, who drove the point home and chased him south. Things eventually calmed down, but to sum it up, what a family reunion. A week later, the Styx male was back, and most likely killed one of the younger Kambula cubs and injured another young male in the process. The two of them seem determined to stay right where they are, even though they have been seen in Sabi last week, so let's hope the pair doesn't run into trouble again. The Ntsevu pride, who had suffered the loss of some cubs due to mange, is doing much better since the summer rains arrived. Since the cubs had perished in September, they haven't been photographed much, which made us jump to the conclusion that the 3 older ones had survived. But recent footage proved us wrong. This cub here right in the middle is half as big as the other ones, who are about 6 months older. The older ones were 2 females and a male, and the younger litter was 2 females and 2 males, so we have to wait and see which one of them had survived. Nevertheless, it's good to see them in much better health, and on a side note, the injury of K2 has healed up quite nicely. Down in the south, the feud between the Gijima and the Nkhulu males is far from over. Early December they had another encounter in which Nkhulu number 2, who is the male with the missing tip of its tail, got beaten up by the Gijimas. After the fight he was seen slightly limping, but other than that he was fine. The Gijima brothers really take their duty seriously. They even went into Kruger, allegedly after having chased the Nkuhuma Talamati male out of their territory. Their commitment is proof to the fact that except for the Styx pride, they haven't lost a single cub to any of the many intruders. Not to say they lost any cubs, but the ones who got killed were lost to pride conflicts. However, their prides are thriving and they seem to enjoy the company of their offspring. Just a couple of days ago, the Styx pride revealed their newest additions, which is a litter of 4 and brings the cub count up to 7. The little ones are about 2 months old now and already met their older cousins who were born in July. The southern pride is also doing well. The 2 daughters of the matriarch are turning 2 years in February, which is absolutely stunning considering what she has achieved in the last 4 years. They also seem to follow in the footsteps of their ancestors, who were remarkable buffalo hunters. When the subadult lionesses approach adulthood in a year or so, they really can become the super pride they once were. Many of the viewers were asking what had happened to Tyielele, the lone Talamati lioness. Well, the truth is she hasn't been seen since mid-October, but there are many scenarios possible apart from the worst case. She is not bound by territory nor a pride. She knows the northern part of Sabi Sand, the Mhangeni, and the adjacent Kruger park really well since she grew up in these areas. Especially the southern part of Mhangeni is not frequented much, hence we do not get daily reports of sightings in this region. She could be anywhere, Kruger Park included, so she might remain elusive to us until she eventually decides to go back to Sabi Sand. But we got some exciting news from another part of Kruger National Park. Mohawk joined the coalition of his sons, and it seems that at least 2 lionesses from the Mantamali pride formed a breakaway group. The boys continue to mate with the lionesses, and it looks like Mohawk was eager to join the party. And considering his age, he looks really stunning. But the best news are, in absence of their father, the boys have established a territory of themselves. And not only that, they've become fathers. Their persistence paid off big time. We wish them well, and we hope to see more cubs in the future. Last but not least, I want to wish all the viewers and subscribers a happy and prosperous New Year 2025.